We could have 3 or 4 users in our database, but we need to specify where we want to update this value, and that's going to be where user ID equals 1 in this case. So we are grabbing that, we're putting that into a session called user ID, and then we're redirecting to the index.php page. So that's essentially all. We're killing the script underneath just because we're using header outputs here. So that's the login script, which is provided for you again over in the phpacademy.org forum. Set up your table, your database tables, set up this code, and try and run it and see if it works. Now the only other thing I've now got to explain is this require here. We're requiring glob, which is a shortened version of global.inc.php, and this just contains some global settings. Now at the moment we haven't got the premium check function. We're going to use that to check if our user's premium. But the first thing we're doing is starting our session. This is really important because obviously in our index.php page we've got our session here, and we need this function here to be called the first thing. So remember, we're requiring this at the very top of our page, and we are starting our session at the very top of our page as well. So this is the first thing that's going to be processed, and that's really important that no data goes before that. What we're then doing is connecting to our MySQL database, or our server rather. So we're connecting to localhost using my username and my password, obviously for security reasons, and then we're selecting a database. So with the code that you find on the forum, on the phpacademy.org forum, substitute your own data into here for your database. This is what your database is going to look like, this is what your tables are going to look like, and then obviously you will then be able to log your user in. So assuming that you've created your tables correctly and you've got the script correct and everything in here, or the credentials match in our global.inc.php, then you should be able to process your login. And when you do go ahead and process your login, this is what it's going to look like. So we've got 2 fields, like I said, we've got our username here and our password here. My password in this case is just password. When we click login, we're going to convert our password to MD5. We are using our username as plain text, and then we're processing this against the credentials in the database. So we're going to click login, and we're presented with you are logged in. If we provide incorrect details, nothing's going to happen. I didn't provide an error message just for the simple reason that I wanted to keep the code as short as possible. So we have created our login and login system correctly. We can log ourselves out as well, as you've seen I've just done, and we have this upgrade to premium button. Now at the moment when you click on it, wait for PayPal to load, and you can see that we've got an error message here. This is because we haven't filled in any details in our index.php page down here. We need to, first thing we need to do is fill out this. So we're going to actually process we're going to process the payment using these details, so the price, everything like that. So once you've tested the code and you understand the code and you've connected to your database and you've been able to log your user in, now we're going to continue with actually processing payments, etc, etc. Now the heart of everything is this form. This is what we're going to submit to PayPal in order to process or come up with our page that's going to process our payment. So the first thing we need is this business field here. Now this code is available from paypal.com, so I haven't written it myself. There's no point in writing it myself in the tutorial. It's always going to be on PayPal. Google for it. I think I've already got a Google search up here ready to show you guys for the IPN code, which again is available on the forum, but you can check it out on paypal.com. But this code is standard code that's going to forward us to PayPal. There's nothing special about it. It's nothing to do with IPN except a few extra variables that we've added in here. But apart from that, this is our code. So our business address is our PayPal, our primary PayPal address. So my primary PayPal address is alex@phpacademy.org. Okay. So the next thing we've got is item name. Now, for this purposes of this tutorial, I've named this premium membership. So when the user clicks the button and they're shown their cart, their checkout, this is the item that's going to be there. Amount is the price that they want to that you want to charge. So in my case, I'm charging $8.99 for premium membership. No shipping 1, no note 1. We don't want to provide shipping. We don't want the user to add a note. Currency code is easy. This is GBP. I'm from the UK, so it's Great British Pounds. Obviously, if you're in America, it would be USD. For United States dollars, but whatever. You've got your locale, which is for me GB. This button is the type of button that you want to display to the user, but this is actually irrelevant because we've created our own submit button down here, so really this can be left out if you want. It's entirely up to you whether you use this button. Just up to you really. If you're copying the code from paypal.com, it'll already have a little image on there, but I'm just using a standard button. So return, okay, so return is once they've made a payment, a successful payment, where do you want to redirect them to? Now I'm going to be boring and I'm just going to redirect them straight back to the index.php page, so they can see that they're now a premium membership. But you could have a custom page like thanks.php or no, it wouldn't be confirm.php, but something.php to say that thanks for your payment's been received. But I'm just going to be directing them back to index.php. Cancel return, you've probably guessed, is the page that they want to return to if they press cancel at any time during their order. So again, you could direct them to a page to say, sorry, you didn't want to purchase something from us, or we're sorry you cancelled your order, or something. But I'm just going to redirect them back to the index.php. RM, I've got absolutely no idea what that is. I think I've read about it somewhere, but I'm not sure for now. Anyway, notify URL is the IPN script that you want to process. Now, we've already defined this from our PayPal account, as you saw before. However, we're going to put it in here as well. So http phpacademy.org/tutorials/IPN/IPN.php. Remember, this is the page that we want to send all this information, or not all of it, but some selected information to the page. In fact, no, it does send all this information, but we're only going to pick up a few things like the price, the email address, and the currency and stuff like that. Custom is a really important field. Now, you probably heard me mention earlier that we need to process a custom field, and this in this case is going to be the ID of the user that's logged in. Now, as we're logged in at this page at the moment, what we actually have is stored in a session. So remember, stored server side, we have the ID that exists in our database. This is what we process when we logged in. So at the moment, let's return to our index.php code up here. A session user ID, this is the name of the session, is equal to the user ID from the database. So at the moment, this session is equal to 1 because that's my user ID in the database. Now, if we come back down here, if we process this as 1 and pick this up in our IPN script, then what we can do is we can update the database according to the user ID that's logged in. So we need to make this value here dynamic depending on the user that's currently logged in. So at the moment it's 1, that's fine, but obviously I could have another user with the user ID 2.